Do, 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 do.
All right. So hopefully Lindsay joins us. What is how's everybody been?
Oh.
You know, the every other week schedule might not be a bad one when we go through like
Yeah.
high traffic times, because that wasn't bad. And I think,
Especially because like news is a little drippishly slow at the moment.
yeah, it gives time to like let things happen a little bit. So that's good. Um,
How was the Care Bears birthday?
Good. We just had some cake, some gluten-free cake. And that was all right. And now 6 more days, we can have my birthday. So you guys are heading out to Disney tomorrow.
Month of Friday.
Oh, sorry, Friday. I'm thinking tomorrow. I'm thinking today's Thursday for some reason.
I know I've been a day off all week, which isn't necessarily a terrible thing, but
And how long are you guys down in this time?
9 days. Which this is probably the latest I've ever been that
Nice.
we're not already packed. Like I'm usually packed at least a week before we leave. Like last night, I packed the boys. Today, I finished packing them up. Well, not the children themselves, but like my stuff's packed.
Today, Sarah packed the boys. Johnny has
An
them in a
airtight
suitcase under his
container.
bed until it's time to go.
I did have a small crisis for those who I'm Facebook friendos with. I had an absolute coronary that I could not find 3 of my magic bands that I had taken on the last trip. And I was like, I know they're linked together. I know they're somewhere and they're all together. And I checked every pocket of every bag that I took, every possible scenario. As Johnny's like, we clear the safe. Like, yeah. So maybe he grabbed them. And I'm thinking, as we were coming home from dinner, and I was like, if Johnny grabbed them, mine would also be in the location where we store our magic bands, along with his that he returned to. Why would mine be anywhere different? I looked, so maybe I set them on top of something. Maybe they're on the table in the dining room. They were literally behind the Lego Main Street train.
That's as good a place as any for it.
Like inches away from where they actually belong. So I probably just like plopped them down. I was like, oh, I'll handle it later. And then Johnny's like, yeah. And then they probably rolled behind. And
mine for this upcoming trip are currently located right there.
oh, do I make there? Did you go with the pluses or no?
No, not yet. I still have the customized Palpatine one that I have from last. I have my name on and everything, so I'm kind of like
Fancy.
struggling to separate, part ways with that. And then I got my aunt a Figment Food and Wine. I think she was showing Johnny at the parade, I think, and because she's like literally wearing it right now. And then,
can I just tell you and interrupt for a second how excited I was so I was in the parade with the boys, and when afterwards he's like, I got to meet one of our biggest fans, and I was like, what? And I was like, you met the Cheryl? And he's like, yeah, she was at the parade, no big deal. And I was like, it's exciting.
She is a big fan.
Shout out to Auntie. But go ahead, I digress. You were saying
she didn't have a quick disc take shirt on that day though.
If you have any stickaroos, let me know, and we'll just give them to people at the parks. Stick them on people. Yes. All right. I can swing by tomorrow and grab some.
You want? I got two. Okay. I probably should order more.
I know you gave me a handful earlier, but I put one on my iPad and then I misplaced them, or the children took them. I don't know.
Oh, I gave them to Auntie Sherry's got like 3 of them, like on her like her deck alone in her house. And then my stepdad's got one on his truck.
Yeah.
Yep. Word gets around, Word gets around. So
right, sorry, go ahead. Your aunt is wearing her Figment one. Sorry.
Where are we staying on this trip? All right. Nice. I'm excited to come back and report because I'm doing an off property this time for the first time ever. And none of us have really had any insight to that. So I'm going to be curious to see how that shakes out. It's a Radisson and it's still technically on Disney property, but
Is it one of the good neighbor hotels?
I don't even know, and probably not because it is a timeshare that is like we
Oh.
Airbnb'd, but it's like literally
Mhm.
go through the Walt Disney World gate to get to it. So it's like
Oh.
partially on property. It's weird, but we'll see how it goes. I don't know what to expect.
I'll go with it.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
And if it is, I may have to stay there. I may have to be my jam because it was way cheaper.
We were one of the families that we befriended while we were on the cruise. We're trying to make plans to meet up with them on the day that we do the Not So Scary Halloween party because we don't have a park reservation for that day. We figured we'll hang out with them and try and figure something out. And so he was asking, do we have a car on property? He's like, that's a game changer. And I was like, usually we do, but we don't have one. So, he's offering his car. And I said, however, we could just meet in the Springs. I said, we've checked out the Margaritaville that's down there and kind of, that's a pretty prime spot. I feel if Disney continues to price hike and drop, their perks and stuff. And he's like, I actually live right behind that. And I was like, well, that's fantastic because we enjoy the Margaritaville.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that.
Yeah.
I've heard good things. Well, while you guys are en route to Florida on Friday, I'll be enjoying an evening with REO Speedwagon Sticks. So.
Oh God, that's a good one.
REO Speedwagon Sticks and Loverboy. Because whether you want to admit it or not, everybody is working for the weekend.
For the weekend. Can you resend Lansy the link? He just texted me that he needed it.
Resend Lansy the link.
Please.
This guy. Yeah, give me a sec. Where are we, Mr. Lansy?
Although I enjoy that my children call your daughter Ario instead of Aria. And that
She's
Ario Speedwagon.
She's REO Speedwagon.
At least when James is talking about her anyway. Everything's fine. There she is. I can hear her.
Yeah, she's yakking.
She's a cutie patootie.
Yep. She's all right. So, do we have exciting news today?
Kind of a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
But also kind of a little bit no. Nothing big and crazy.
Oh, here's Lansy.
Yeah. Connecting to audio.
And there he is in the flesh.
Hey, friend.
Second show in a row, dropping in the middle of the show. I like that. Not really, like a minute in. And I've come up with this new philosophy where I feel like if I start the show immediately, once a couple of people are here, there's more like catching up conversation that listeners may be interested to hear versus like the 5 minute or 10 minutes we do off camera. So I was like, from now on, I'm just cranking. And then, you know what I mean? I just thought last time it kind of went well. So I just did it. And I will do it going forward. Once we get 2 people, I will just go live. Maybe I'll even start by myself and just start talking to be like Garth in Wayne's World.
Well, you have enough sound effects and
yeah.
You probably have like a good conversation with yourself.
I have a lot of really good conversations with myself. When I start arguing with myself, someone needs to step in. But I frequently have amazing chats.
I typically have the same conversation with myself every time. And it's a very quick conversation. It's a one question and one statement. And the question is, what is wrong with me? And the answer is, I don't know.
Live studio. This is filmed before a live studio audience, by the way. Inappropriate laugh track. All right. So we're all here. Johnny and Sarah gearing up for another trip to Disney on Friday, while Lansy hangs out at his local Dunkin' Donuts, as he discussed last time.
I'll be at Dunkin' Donuts.
I have to say, though, I texted Lansy. What day was it? Tuesday. I had ordered on the go, and there was a Stephen L. with a pre-order waiting to go. And I was like, are you ordering on the go to my Dunkin'? And it was not him. But I was excited because I thought maybe it was.
I typically don't order on the show.
I was sad.
Very
Yeah.
sad.
Everything's fine.
That was a sad trombone, so it all worked out. All
So
right.
it's a-
So what's up, guys? We've always been yakking already for the last 5 minutes. To the Quick Diz Takes podcast, episode number 92. We are inching so close to 100.
We're centimetering at this
We
point.
should have been there probably 2 months ago, but here we are.
Everything's fine. But
Everything's good. Everything's great.
yeah, thriving.
Their usual cast of characters. I'm the host, Tim LeBeau, alongside Mr. John Castano.
Hello.
Sarah Castano. See, I did a hesitation that time.
Hey, howdy, hey.
And Mr. Stephen Lanzi.
Hi.
Steven's still currently working on a signature. Hello.
Yeah, I got nothing.
I got nothing either, Steven, so I don't feel bad.
I mean,
I
I
just-
could do, in honor of, Paulie Walnuts from The Sopranos, I could say something like, "What do you hear? What do you say?" But I don't know if that would really work out.
You do it long enough, Steve, it works,
You make it work.
Yeah.
We used to, Johnny used to have a little cackle when Sarah would start in with the hey, howdy, hey, but now it has just become part of the
He's
show.
over it. He's not amused by me.
No, that's
No.
okay. Even Johnny's,
Yeah.
signature hesitation has taken on a life of its own. And my what's up, guys, has now become, for me anyway, just something I have to say. I don't know what it is.
If there's a show where you're not hosting, he's like, oh, how do I start this? And I can't say what's up, guys. That's Tim's thing.
You started like hesitate, just start in complete silence.
Trademarked.
Hello, I'm Johnny. I'm having a
And
good
I'm
time.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm having a good time. Not.
that's
Anyway,
someone else. Anyway,
we're gonna do some news
yeah.
today because Sarah says she's got some good news to bring us. So let's do that, and then we can fart around with a little bit of I'll discuss something a video I saw the other day. Maybe we can shoot some ideas back and forth on that. But let's actually so the video I saw, I'll say it now just so everyone can kind of let it still. This guy had this whole video about how Fantasyland is the most popular land in the most popular park in the entire world. And it is about as dysfunctional as a land gets with like what it offers, what it should offer. And so, you know where I'm going with this. So just thought we'd get some ideas of like, if anybody else thought the same or disagreed or agreed, and what they would do, a couple of things over there. And if there was any IPs we'd throw in there. I know we kind of done things like this in the past, but this is more specific to that land. And we can't throw The Office in there. I'm talking strictly Disney stuff. And what do you think is a waste of space there? And it could be better utilized, things like that. So keep that in the back of your heads. And we'll let Sarah do her thing.
So sadly, we don't have any speculation to engage in. It's been quite some time. Parts.
All right.
But
Yeah, it is weird. There's like really no rumors going on.
yeah.
Which
And
is
the
like,
ones that I've heard are just like, I think people are just trying to stir the pot. Like, I don't think there's any meat behind it. So not worth it.
I don't want to start a huge conversation at the top of the news, but there is one rumor I heard. I have no idea how much weight it holds, but there's a lot of speculation from some, and I think we're all going to hope this is true when I say it, that the big D23 announcement this year could possibly be that they are going to take Journey into Your Imagination down and refurb it back closer to its original. Well, shouldn't say it like that, but more on par, or more in theme, more in the same vein as the original ride from
A revival of the vintage.
Yeah, let's call it a reboot of sorts. Dreamfinder possibly coming back. I don't know if this is just a lot of wishful thinking that gain momentum into a rumor, but we shall see.
There was some D23 stuff, or as I like to call it, in order to annoy Johnny, D23, just because it bugs him.
It did too.
Yeah. I lost my thought. The cover of the new D23 is the Hocus Pocus 2. There's currently some stuff going on where they're going to be celebrating in Salem. There's going to be not a lottery, a sweepstakes to go kind of celebrate with them and the airings of it and all of that stuff. So I'm not going to go too crazy into it because I know not a lot of people are like able to go. And I just kind of want to wait and see what actually happens versus what people are like whispering about. But, you know, D23, Hocus Pocus, we followed that a lot. So I'm just kind of throwing it out there, see where it sticks.
Yeah. D23, there's got to be something, right?
Yeah.
Like there's got to be something. Because, I mean, let's face it. We've seen it in the past. They could just throw something out there just to do it anyway, just to excite people. And they've canceled plans shortly after they've announced things. But it's been 3 years since the last one with the pandemic and things. And I just can't imagine there's not going to be something.
And there's been all kinds of projects that were announced for the 50th that had been put on hold. So like Moana's been put on hold, putting additional rides in Epcot, that's been put on hold. Just stuff all over the place has been kind of paused. So I'm wondering if we're going to get like a refresh or if they've, you know, updated things that were supposed to happen. So since they didn't actually start building it, if they're going to like revamp it before it actually goes in, I don't know, but I'm excited to see what this one holds just because it's been so long since they built it.
That's what I mean. So I feel like something's going to be coming. And then like when, you know, I think Johnny and I might have discussed this before when it was just him and I on the show a while back. Cause like the Epcot announcement they made, you know, the last D23 was like, for me anyway, I think a lot of people, so exciting. And then like they scrapped so much of it. That's like such a disappointment. Like that, the whole like fireworks viewing area they were going to build with a little park on top. All that stuff was such like the aesthetic of Epcot looked like it was going to be so amazing.
Yeah,
and you know they've kind of reeled it back in. So I don't know, but there's got to be something like Tron. We're finally going to get Tron here very soon, and after that, there's no more. There's really nothing.
No expansion there.
Too crazy coming. So. They gotta throw something. They gotta throw a carrot out there somewhere. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yum, 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 yum.
And I think Figment would be people would go crazy for that.
I know a ride.
Uh-oh.
I know an attraction that they could get rid of and repurpose that whole area.
Here we go.
In
I-
It never stops on this channel.
I just figured, you know, let's get that one out nice and early. So I'm not scrambling later on.
You know, all joking aside, he's right. That could be. I mean, there's space there that could be utilized, or keep the same show and just revamp it. You know, do something though. I think revamp
You're on
it,
mute.
but they should revamp it, but they should keep like one or two clickies in the background just for, you know, as a nod. That's fine. Little nod to the old attraction, but they need to.
Or the click could be the little like counter. How many people are in the attraction?
Carrie loves the clicks.
I know.
My wife, it cracks me. She goes in there, she gets embarrassed because she's laughing so hard. People do look at her like, what is going on? And every
It's her first
single
trip, everyone. It's
she
fine.
thinks it's hilarious because the flowers have little tongues and they click. She thinks it's like the funniest thing she's ever seen. So someone likes the tiki room. I like the tiki room.
I enjoy it.
Yeah. I like a
All right.
cocktail at the tiki room.
So we'll actually get into the news now, like for real. We're already
Yeah,
sidetracked.
yeah,
and I
yeah,
haven't
I
even
know.
done a thing.
Going off the rails on the crazy train.
Squirrel. All right. So again, no speculation, but we do have some quick Diz mentions. Mentions?
Sweets.
Yes. See, it took me a while, but I remember.
Sweet.
All right. So
That's what I'm
restaurant
talking about.
Marrakesh in Epcot's Moroccan Pavilion will become the Florida Blue Lounge starting September 3rd. Last year, I guess there were passes to go in, almost like when the reopening after COVID, they had like rest areas or breaks where you could take your mask off. They were generally air conditioned. There were outlets to plug in your electronics. So I feel like that was the intent last year. They opened up that space. There were passes. I'm not sure what you had to do to apply or acquire one, but it ended up being free and it lasted for the whole season. So there is some speculation that this lounge will continue to stay open for everybody this year. But I haven't seen anywhere to like apply for it. I did see a video and I don't remember where now because I wanted to go back and look at it but you can get food in there. You can get drinks in there. It's basically the restaurant's just open for you to hang. Florida Blue is like one of the healthcare providers down there. They have koozies, they have snacks, they have swag available for people, pens and all that jazz. But it did look kind of cool if you're looking for a little place to kind of slow down. I know Epcot is such a hustle and bustle place, especially in the World Showcase.
A lot of walking going on back there.
Crazy world, a lot of smells.
A lot of steps. 20, 30,000 steps a day. Easy.
Mhm.
The Skyliner refurb has been scheduled and announced for routine maintenance from January
Right.
22nd to the 29th. So we're just missing it. So hopefully everything works well until the refurb. The new Boardwalk Deli has opened, offering deli sandwiches and your typical bakery items, serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There was a lot of kind of grumpiness that we lost. What was there, and I can't think of it right now, I'm having a brain fart, but they put in another deli, and it just kind of seems like another sandwich shop, another same, like you're getting multiples of, same offerings, different name kind of deal. Like it's just repetitive. And so Disney's kind of losing their edge on, you're getting a variety of things. And they're not wrong. But I also feel like a boardwalk also has a certain air about it, and a deli and multiple delis kind of fit into it. So
Yeah, it makes sense. Thematically.
Tomorrowland Light and Power Company, which is that gift shop just as you are coming off Space Mountain, it will be closing to become the exit for both Tron Light Cycle Run and Space Mountain. So they will share that exit.
Makes sense.
I'm sure all that merchandise will just get smushed into the Emporium like everything else. Or the Merchant of Venus kind of fits the merch that's in there for Space Mountain, and that's nearby as well. So
That seems weird that they won't have a gift shop coming off those rides, though.
yeah, I'm not mad about it.
Yeah,
Well-
they'll probably figure something out. I bet.
I'm sure there's going to be like a little pit stop gift shop for Tron, just like there was for Toy Story Mania. Like you're not fully out of the building and, oh, look, there's a little, oh, it's a gift
No.
shop.
They've changed that. You have to walk through a gift shop now.
Yeah.
At Toy Story, there's not a gift shop at the exit of Guardians of the Galaxy. Remember, you walk outside and then there's a side entrance.
And then there's a
so
side shop. Yeah.
Surprisingly, they don't shove you through a gift shop in that night. So maybe
And I
it's
think
good.
I remember saying that out loud after we got off the first time.
And we never actually went in it.
Yeah.
Which was
We
God
only
forbid
didn't
they
go in
are.
it because we had the lightning lane and then I had to pee. So priorities.
lovely.
Everybody pees, Johnny.
Okay.
All right. Disney has announced a new animated series called Cars on the Road, featuring both Mater and McQueen, that duo, that will be coming to Disney Plus. I want to say that's like a 6 or 8 mini series. It's not like a full season. It does look super cute though. As well as, and I think I talked about this in the last show, season 2 of the Mighty Ducks Game Changers.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
September
like that first
28th.
season. That was good.
I enjoyed. September 28th is the official date for Game Changers. And
Nice.
speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy, going back just a smidge, they're already experiencing their troubleshooting and their B plan for the attraction. Last week, maybe a week and a half ago by now, the teleportation pre-show broke. And so guests were just being walked through to kind of move everything along and keep it operational. So we're already getting malfunctions.
Well, it's new.
Yeah. And as like I was thinking about, like the teleportation pre-show isn't super technical. But anyway, I digress. And Stitch's Great Escape reopens. Actually, it's just the queue. I lied to you. Magic Kingdom's Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is using the space for 2 photo frame ops themed to Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, as well as Monsters, Inc. during the after hours event. Along with the use of Stitch's queue, Space Mountain has received some exterior lighting love, especially for the Halloween party as well, making it look festive AF.
You talk about wasted space, Landsy, in Magic Kingdom. Stitch's Great Escape all those years. Not
Awful.
sorry, Sarah. I like
Awful.
Lilo and Stitch, but that thing was that was not a good
Agreed.
tribute to that movie.
I
Agreed.
still don't understand what the point was.
Because Alien Encounter was too scary. And then they had a cute and cuddly and
They didn't want to
fluffy.
spend money, so.
Yeah. A cute,
know-
cuddly, fluffy alien themselves.
But if you go back to Great Movie Ride, that alien was like,
Yeah,
But
it's true.
also, they had the theme, they have a Tomorrowland, an entire land called Tomorrowland. They made a Disney Junior show, Miles, from Tomorrowland. They painted those big glaciers, like that galactic blue, from Miles from Tomorrowland. And I was like, what a perfect place. Repurpose this alien thing with a Miles from Tomorrowland where he encounters aliens. Never happened. Not
Yeah,
even a meet and greet.
I don't know.
Livid. Now the boys aren't even into Miles anymore.
Yeah, well, that show kind of just died anyway. Did they still make new episodes of that?
They did a spin-off
Yeah.
of, I don't remember what it was called, but it was like Galactic something. I don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah, it was like when Jake and the Neverland Pirates, then they had like Jake on steroids. They did the Miles, and then the Miles on steroids. But Disney would never do steroids.
Tomorrowland's got problems too, so. Anyway.
Moving on to our quick Diz updates. We do have some continued returns and reopenings, which is weird because we've been, well, I say we, but the parks have been open for quite some time after COVID. Disney Springs location at Chicken Guy has reopened following a renovation to expand their indoor seating. Apparently it more than doubles what they previously had available, which is awesome because it had tiny indoor and that line went forever. Chippendale's Campfire Sing-Along returns to Wilderness Resort and Campground. Our cultural representatives are back in the World Showcase following the return of international travel because of affiliated countries and COVID restrictions and all of that. So we're getting all of those friends back. Hollywood Studios is actually very close to gaining another restaurant. I did see it was officially open to guests, but it's not on the app, so I'm not believing it. If I can't see it on the app as an available open place to dine, it's not real. Jesse's Trading Post in Toy Story Land has filed a permit. They do love permits on August 4th in order to install their themed facades. It's the same company that did the rest of the work on the facades and all of the theming prop items for the rest of Toy Story Land. So it will be very consistent with everything else that's up there. But until it's official on the My Disney Experience app, I'm not calling this one official. I'm just saying they're super close to it reopening. When we go in next week, I'll let you know. And as well, Disney announced yesterday, just a few wee hours ago, Epcot would be seeing the return of 3 of their in-person tours, which have been on hold since the COVID closures. The Behind the Seeds tour, stay in your boat when you're on the land, please. The Dive Quest and the Dolphin In-Depth tours. So all of those are coming back quite some time after our parks have reopened, which is fantastic, I feel. And last up, we have new aerial photos from our favorite Eyes in the Sky Bio Reconstruct, showing some refurb work done on Blizzard Beach while they remained closed for work. Nothing super exciting, but just you can see more stuff is done. You know, very exciting.
And never go to the water parks anyway.
Right. And you would do Typhoon Lagoon anyway.
Well, I have been to Blizzard. I've only been to Blizzard Beach. That was a
Really?
long time ago. No, that's not true. That's not true. I've been to each one, but both
have you
a
done-
long time ago.
You ever done River Country?
I might have a couple times when I was a kid. I might have. I don't remember. That was a long
Before the brain eating amoeba?
Yeah, that's it's
Yeah.
crazy. River
And the
Country.
biggest headline-ish thing we have, Disney did post their quarterly results. They had an earning of $1.09 per share, 12 cents above the expectations. Sales were $21.5 billion for the quarter, better than the expected $20.99 billion. The Disney Plus subscriber numbers zoomed past their estimates to $152.1 million, which is $5 million more than they anticipated. The parks, experiences, and products section revenue increased to $7.4 billion during just this quarter, up from $4.3 billion during the same period of last year. And I'm sure Genie Plus has something to do with that. And we still see people who just want Bob Chapek on. And I did send you a shirt.
Well.
I hope that you're going to get that shirt for your trip.
I like that shirt. Am I gonna be allowed in a Disney park with that shirt?
Will they dress code you and give you a free shirt?
I don't know. I mean, that's
The
how I
only
should dress to Mickey's Not So Scary. I'll put a bald cap on, like I'll be Chapek with the clown. That'd be pretty good, huh? Are you guys wearing costumes when you go?
Indeed. I was
Do you
just
know
packing
what,
them earlier
you know what they're
today.
gonna be?
Yeah, just pack them.
Well, what do you got?
You know what they're gonna be, Timothy?
Can you
Here's your
guess?
clue.
Huh?
Can you guess?
Johnny's got your clue.
I can't see.
It's a red hat.
Closer,
Oh.
Johnny. Show him
And
the
is this gonna be like
medallion.
a- Is
The medallion clutch.
Is this gonna be like a family themed thing here?
Mhm. Indeed.
It's a plane is on that thing.
Yeah. So, and what are the? So, what are you
It's
gonna
a
be? Sarah?
seaplane.
Come on.
It's all from that same show.
It's this, and there's somebody's gonna wear this with a Hawaiian shirt.
And there's a red and blue hat. Oh, put the shirt on, Johnny. Give him a visual.
No, it's a show from the 90s.
Mhm.
Can we get a little like music, as he's changing the clothing or something?
Mhm. Hang on, let me see if I can
As
get
he's
this.
modeling or something? Do we have I'm Too Sexy by Right Said Fred?
Fashion show, fashion show, fashion show at lunch.
The other thing.
That was uncalled for.
Where's those little tickets?
Any chance
Take
I
those,
get.
Sarah?
What, Johnny?
Where's
I'm
those
willing to
tickets?
wait for you. I'm willing to wait for you. Wait for you.
I was listening to that on the way back from Bristol. Okay, one more time, Johnny. What?
Where are those little tickets? Did you pack them?
I did not touch those because it's your stuff.
See, what I would be doing is I would be dressed as the person enjoying happy hour prices and drinking tequila. And spoiler alert, the costume will look exactly like how I dress every single day.
It started playing before I was ready. I'm sorry I didn't interrupt you. Andy.
Those
All right.
tickets aren't in
I
here.
was waiting for Johnny to show up as a Rocketeer.
No, I wish.
You could do it. It's not like it's. I do like the idea. Don't get me wrong. So,
Yeah.
how are we getting into like animal character here too, or how's that going to work?
No.
Okay.
I have to figure out how to make my hair with that big bouffant thing in the front. So I don't know what I'm gonna do.
It's
But
more.
You get the little boomerang thing to ride on.
No. I don't know if they'd allow that. They might think it's a weapon.
Are they going to allow the hydroplane or?
what's
Yeah.
her name? I forgot.
We are trying to think about what we're going to do. We
Banana.
still don't know.
Sure, Arya could go as Zero, be Sally and Jack, or is that too far?
Yeah, it's been done so many
You want
times.
deep tracks? Is that what you're going for?
I don't know. I haven't quite. I'll know it when I see it.
All right.
Or either that or run out of time. One or the other.
See, I wanted to do Rescue Rangers, but then they just came out with Rescue Rangers, and it was too current. And I was like, but I want to be Gidget,
Yeah.
Gadget,
Yes.
Gidget's from something else.
Jen was Gadget from Tim Tracker. She
Was she?
was.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yes.
It was,
Sorry,
pretty,
I
it was pretty good. Yeah.
recall.
I
I
don't
was
know, like, I couldn't figure out if I was going to be like something from the parks or I was going to be something from TV. I don't know. All over the place.
Mm-mm-mm.
I was going to wear a big like clear bowl over my head, just be Madame Leota.
We'll get you a wig.
I mean, you'd have to go really all in on that. And I don't like you do have to be comfortable when you're there, so. Then I was thinking about going as Dipper, and then you could go as Mabel.
We have. Oh, you won't fit as the Dipper. Best. Sorry.
Well,
Or you and Carrie could be Dipper and Mabel, and Arya could be Waddles. Or Gideon.
Seuss.
Zeus. Yeah, Zeus is.
Goose.
I don't know what it is about Zeus, but every time he talks, it reminds me of Matt Haggerty. Do you see that at all, Johnny? When I don't know, something about it. He's got like a delivery or something. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I say it every time I watch it. I'm like, he just reminds me of that. But anyway, so that's the
I
biggest news of the week, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I said, not super excitable. I mean, good news. Stuff's reopening. Things are coming back.
Does anybody have like something they'd like to hear announced, it like something realistic. They would like to hear announced at D23 that they think could be potentially something that could happen. Like, I don't know, something you want to see. Is there an IP you want to see come to the parks?
I've said for a long time that I wanted Emperor's New Groove somewhere in there. I think it's super underappreciated, but I know not many people hold that idea.
Yeah, I don't think you can ever get that wish, unfortunately. That
No.
period there at the end of the Renaissance is kind of tough.
But I feel like
Actually,
we need to kind of
I-
acknowledge all of that.
Actually,
That's fine.
so just talking about Emperor's New Groove. Now, full disclosure, I haven't seen the whole movie. Yeah, I know. Every time I go to watch it, something happens. But that is the movie with the wrong lever,
Yes.
right?
Wrong lever.
So
Why do we have that lever?
So if they're not going to create like a roller coaster or some kind of ride in, say, Hollywood Studios, because it's not Star Wars, so many people yell that out at every water park. Why
Yeah.
not?
Make Cuscotopia.
Right, put it in one of the water parks. I mean, you might as well. And every time person goes down, you hear. I mean, people who work there probably going nuts hearing it constantly. But maybe you play it in the tunnel so it's a little bit muted.
Yeah.
So people who work there aren't getting the same thing. But you go down and whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think it'll be an opportunity to expand IP, these properties outside of the 4 regular parks, and you can put stuff in the water parks. And I even think you could do stuff with Finding Nemo. You could do stuff with Little Mermaid. Like, I think you can almost start making the water parks a little bit more, use the phrase, but like Disney-ish.
Would that take like Little Mermaid and Nemo have their themed pools at Art of Animation? So would that pull from their resort properties?
No, because I mean, honestly, I didn't know that because I've never stayed there.
Yeah.
So I think
Surprise.
but I think it would be a way of, I don't know. I mean, and you can take those examples away. You could throw in Moana. You could throw in Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, you can maybe
Yeah.
create some IP, not say rides, but attractions or things in the water, and nothing absolutely crazy. But I would love, get ready? Pirates of the Caribbean ride, right? We all love it. Picture that or something similar as a lazy river.
Do you
Yeah,
know
but-
it? All right,
but
so
normally-
there's a park.
Normal lazy river and then a dark lazy river.
There's a park that has that, not Disney. I've seen it on SoCal 360 attractions. It's a lazy man river it's a dark ride, and it goes like into ancient Egypt, and it like inside. You have to look it up.
Yeah.
Did we talk about this? I feel like maybe we touched on it.
We might have, but I seen it. I watched the video of it. and
I
it
don't
was-
remember what I had for breakfast. If
I had
a movie
lemon
quote-
milk.
If it ain't a movie quote, I don't remember.
So
But they also have like Disney Tokyo has like that Disney at Sea, which has like
well,
a
it's
tiny
Disney,
little
It's Disney Sea,
Disney Sea. Disney Sea.
but it's still a park. Like,
Yeah. But I feel like though they always get the cooler stuff.
Like, imagine you're on the lazy river, right? You're on the raft, just kind of like doing your own thing, and then off to the
Our
side.
both is chasing Jack across.
Well, I was gonna say off to the side, the Flying Dutchman like crashes out of the water and splashes down, and like, I don't know, I think it'd be pretty cool. Or so I don't know how they would do this without like making things that like hurt people. But like in Pirates of the Caribbean, where the cannonballs supposedly hit in the water,
Yeah.
you have that, and it kind of shoots at people, and I don't know. I think you could have a lot. I mean, you can even do like a multi-themed ride where some parts are pirates, some part is Moana, some part
Green cherry.
is
Cheerios?
Little Mermaid. What do we want? Dark.
I'm gonna show you this.
Okay.
Water World.
Where's this?
That's not creepy eyeballs or anything.
So
Water World Water Park.
I'm gonna jump ahead a little.
Just curious, where is this park? Like,
I
like
don't
where?
know if someone could Google where that is. Waterworld Water Park.
Water World.
So you can see here's this, Lazy Man River style kind of ride. And it enters the show building.
All right. Still lazy river. All right, I'm with you.
And then into a dock ride.
Excellent. Ooh,
So this is kind of like what I think Steven's saying, right?
make it like a dark ride.
I mean, it is.
Yeah.
Look at it.
A dark lazy river ride.
Yeah, exactly.
You could have Indiana Jones running down there.
I'll just skim through a little bit. So as it keeps going, you get into more elements here.
Or National Treasure.
You could do.
Why do we not have anything National Treasure?
I know, right?
And we, as much as I love the Indiana Jones stunt show, it's the
Well, again,
exact
the
same
show-
show from all those years. Why can we not replace the Indiana Jones stunt show spectacular with like a National Treasure type deal?
I think they should have they should have like a Nicolas Cage kind of actor walk around the American Pavilion in Epcot, just going up to you and saying, "I'm going to steal the Declaration of Independence," and just run away.
Anyway, you can see that it can be done, is what I was trying to get at. And,
It can be taught.
and like this is a place I don't think has anywhere, I would imagine has nowhere near the budget of Disney. So,
Right.
and this dock ride doesn't look half bad.
No, it does.
Considering they don't have that budget. Yeah.
And I know we always reference the ride, and sometimes we do it to be silly, but I'm not trying to be silly. This would almost be like a water version of the Great Movie Ride, right? If you had different, like,
Yeah.
so this is the part that, well, there's a dinosaur. So, it's this is the, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Moana part, this is the Pirates part, this is the National Treasure part, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Kind of going through that, but it's all water and it's a water park. So if you get wet, which would be kind of part of the fun, who cares? You're literally in a lazy river. You're meant to.
Right.
So I think that this would be, oh, look at that. That's awesome.
I know it's pretty cool, right?
Why are we not funding this? Ah!
Ooh, sploosh.
Oh,
See, I
think
kinda wish,
it's a
like,
good idea.
I'm thinking of Cali River Rapids, and I'm like, it needs something. Like, I know we've talked about Cali River before about how like it used to have a story and how it needs something. Like, it just has to fit with Animal Kingdom, though. Where?
And there's another one.
In Africa,
there's
right?
There's 2 dock rides.
hmm.
This is one of them. I'm gonna see here. It looks like it's in Colorado.
Ooh. A snowy state.
I think. Hold on.
The Rocky Mountain State?
Oh, sorry.
what you
Just
said?
had an idea.
Yep.
One of like little rooms or something on this dark water ride. Dagobah.
Yeah, you could do
Make
it.
it all swampy and
You know, you think it'd be cheap because you see how that was set up there. We're watching. So the dock ride part's there. Obviously, you got to build that and you got to pay for that, and whatever. But the ride system is insanely cheap. I mean, a Lazy Man River, most resorts have those. Like, it cannot, as far as ride systems go, that's
Right.
got to be a pretty cheap endeavor. And then you can just keep loading people on. It's like nonstop.
and that's
What
why,
if?
that's why I say lazy river, because it's just grab a tube and go.
Yeah,
What if? Hear me
I
out.
like it.
Put,
I like it.
put all the Star Wars films in order. See, not release order, but like order of how they go.
Sequentially, yeah.
Make that your ride. You're going
mean-
through the series. Just don't put Jar Jar Binks because people will drown him.
I
Or
think
they'll drown
that,
themselves.
I don't know. Jar Jar Binks has got like a cult following now.
Ugh,
I think, you know what it is?
he's
The
like
char-
Caillou of Star Wars.
The character doesn't, I don't believe the character really has a following. I think what it is that now that everyone's an adult, we all recognize the awful treatment the
Excuse me.
actor, the Jar Jar Binks actor went through. And it's more, I think it's
Yeah,
more
so
about,
unnecessary.
yeah, I think it's more about, hey, we made you basically quit acting. We're very sorry about that. And you went through a spiral depression. This like you went through a
Oh, I had
spiral
no idea.
depression. He went
Yep.
through a spiral depression. The kid who played Anakin. Most recently, I mean, Dave, Ray, Daisy,
No, not Ray. Wasn't it Rose?
both. Well,
Oh, both. Okay.
right. Well, I'm blanking on her name.
Daisy
Um,
Ridley's Rose. I can't think
Thank
of.
you.
I can't
So
think of. I mean,
she-
Ray. I can't think of Rose's name.
So she deleted her social media because she couldn't put up with it. And then the actress who played Rose, they've been really treated. Hayden Christensen, right? It's not his fault. He had to complain about sand. So I think what everyone's doing is reaching out in a sense because they feel bad for the actress.
Yeah, maybe. Hayden Christensen got a bad rap for sure. I mean, they all did, but that guy, like, they talk about how he was good in other movies, and then like so many people were like, "Have you ever seen behind the scenes of those prequels?" The guy was literally trying to act in front of a green screen, and it's like not the easiest way to get into character.
Right.
But I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I like the idea of a lazy man, but I don't know. I don't think they'll ever dump that kind of money into those water parks. They made, what was that? What was the name of the newest one? That's a Typhoon Lagoon, Johnny. I can't think of it.
The rock. What?
Typhoon Lagoon. It has an animatronic on it.
Oh, I don't know the name, but it's got like the bird or something, and it's
Something
tied,
falls.
Yeah, it's tied into the whole SEA stuff too.
I think is it Ripshaw Fall or some kind of whatever it is.
Let
It
me
has
see.
animatronic. It was like the first one that featured animatronics. Like they dabbled a little in the idea of theming out the
Wazoo.
the water slide a bit more, but I don't know. I don't really know.
All-Stars,
It doesn't seem like their budget is
Blizzard Beach. Let's
leaning in
see.
that direction.
It
Should have been in
is-
Typhoon Lagoon.
Oh, it's Typhoon. Where? See, I'm on a map here.
I mean, I think it's just a way of, like you said, it's good
Here we go.
to announce
Typhoon.
anything, right? And also, here's kind of another idea. They have 2 water parks. If they were to create a third, or at least refurb one of them, they could do more stuff inside, right? Kind of like the Great Wolf Lodge like type of thing. So
Yeah.
this way here, if it's raining,
Oh, right
or
here.
in January and February, I don't know if they close them down for certain months. When it's a little too cold to go to a water park, you still have a reason to send people there and still spread the crowds out. I think that's why, let me tell you, I've been there in February twice. Both times it was as packed in February as any time during the summer. And I think a big portion of that, number one, because of the tiered pricing, it's lower. So you get, the Brazilian, high school cheerleading team, right? And they all have bright yellow shirts. So the wait time goes from 25 minutes to like 105. Like, it's so, but I think the other thing is no one's going to the water parks. It's too cold. I mean, 70 is too cold to go to a water park, even though it may be nice. So if they have more stuff inside, climate controlled, it's going to be warm because I'll just crank it. I think maybe you still spread that crowd out during the colder months.
Yeah. I'm with you there. I mean, I'm not a water park guy.
I'm not either because
just
people are
think it's not-
disgusting and they're all wading in
Yeah.
the same water. I can't get over that. But if there's a few nice slides, yeah, it's nice. I've been to a few this past year, and then they were a lot of fun. So
Yeah, I mean, we went to Great Wolf and I liked it. I've
Yeah.
been to Blizzard Beach years ago. I never hated it. I just never seemed to get around to it. When I went to Disney, the parks, the 4 main parks, are such a draw for me that I just have a hard time getting anywhere else. But
yeah,
there's a market for it for sure. And I mean, well, let's put it this way: if they developed your dock ride, I'm probably gonna go.
and they make more
Right.
money because you may get somebody who's not typically that kind of to save money, maybe doesn't get the ticket, for the water parks. But if there's some dark ride stuff to do, especially if it's brand new, and you always get people who are like, oh, like I do what's new. Yeah, I think you get a few. You can make a couple of dark rides, a couple of different themes. You can make them Lazy River. You can make them like the ride in Animal Kingdom, the water ride.
Kali River Rapids.
You can make it
Gee.
that. You can make it that kind of style. So yeah, I think you could make it a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was, that's outside the box. I wasn't even thinking in those terms. That's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah, see.
Yep.
Don't have.
I like to see an announcement going back to what I talked about at the top of the show, where, and in this video that I watched, I mentioned it, and I completely agree. Agree. Where like how lost, with Fantasyland is like, he talks about how much wasted space is really there when you really like buckle down and just kind of look at it. When you look at how like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is just not really that well done. It's a family coaster, but it's like it lacks in like moderate thrill, family style thrill, and it lacks in the dark ride element with only having one scene. So that was a waste of space. Be Our Guest is generally a waste of space. We get it's a dining location, but it just takes up so much space.
Yeah.
Enchanted Tales with Bells. Well, Belle is kind of just falling off the map. Winnie the Pooh leaves some things to be desired, even though I like it. And even with even the Little Mermaid, it's just, there's just rides or spaces that could have been utilized better. And I like to see something done with it. And I like to see the Tomorrowland Speedway go away. And I'd like to see a Fantasyland attraction put there in a better trend, like he put it, the most awkward transition maybe in any Disney park, Tomorrowland into Fantasyland when you go in that direction. Let's get it a little more cohesive. And you're just wasting. That Speedway is kind of massive show building you could put on that area and get something so much better.
I think it's a mindset problem.
Don't do it.
Well, if you look at that whole area in general, you could get rid of Speedway. You could, I know they've moved Dumbo, but you got to keep Dumbo. So you could move Dumbo somewhere, and that whole, like, where Pete's Silly Sideshow, like that whole section could go away too. And you could almost create a whole land over there if you got rid of those two sections. If you got rid of the Speedway and like the whole Casey's Jr., all that, like the Barnstormers, whatever, but like you can that's a lot of space for something.
Well, he was just saying too, like Disneyland crams a bunch of dark rides in that small area of their Fantasyland.
Yeah.
So like, where's our Alice in Wonderland ride? Why did we get rid of Snow White's Scary Adventures because they were going to build a mine train? Okay, but why did we replace it with a princess meet and greet when we could have put another dark ride in? And I get Fantasyland's aimed at kids and stuff, but it doesn't mean you can't have a dark ride that adults and kids can both enjoy, like in that area, as opposed to sticking in these 45-minute wait times to meet these princesses and all that stuff, whether that could be done almost anywhere.
Right. They could just walk through and meet people. What an idea.
But I just thought, I always kind of knew it subconsciously, but when he brought all his points up, I'm thinking to myself, it's so true that Fantasyland's a mess, an absolute mess, especially considering that the new part of it was put in within the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So they could have been mapped out better. And I think, I don't know.
So, going back in history and listening to Walt talk about what he wanted for a park, it seemed like, yeah, of course he wanted to make money. That was the point. But it was like, make it so it is the most fun. Have the most fun. And if it's fun, the money will follow. And it seems like today, the money is first on the list. Let's find a way to make money and maybe it'll be fun rather than the other way around. And I think they would be best spent getting a bunch of amusement park nerds in a room and saying, okay, nerds, what do you think we should do? And how can we make this more fun?
Like, what rides in this chain of theme parks is successful? Why? Do we have something that emulates that? What makes this what makes Knott's Berry Farm? What makes Six Flags chain? What makes,
What are people not going on anymore. Or if they go on, it's literally like it's raining. Or it's
There's air
hot
conditioning.
and we need air conditioning. Case in point, and I love them dearly, the Muppets. You know, we know this, right? If you see me in the tiki room, it's a monsoon, there's lightning, my life is at risk, or I'm being held hostage and I'm trying to signal you. Okay. But
Blink, blink.
if I start clicking with the birds, I'm being held hostage. Okay. Call Bruce Willis, get me out of here.
That's funny. You know what's funny though? Is like you mentioned the Muppets, but I don't think it's the property that's keeping people, that's making the people only want to go into
No, but it's
that
not
attraction.
updated.
It's just not done right. Right. So
Yeah.
like, it just needs to be better. Like Little Mermaid, he brings up a good point. Never thought about it. Every time the Little Mermaid's fine for the most part, but you go on it. There's always been something about it to me, and I think he nailed it in this video where he said the problem with that ride is the pacing. You get on it, it's too quick of a story to sit there on an Omni mover and just slowly go through this this ride. It's like there's just so many problems with these rides that just don't work. And there was no need for a clone of that. Like we should have got a Beauty and the Beast ride there instead, because I mean, you go, you know, with the restaurant and Shannon Taylor's Bells and Gaston right there, you might as well just make the whole damn thing themed to Beauty and the Beast,
Yeah.
especially when California's already got Little Mermaid. So it's just so messy over there. And you know what? Under the Sea with, you know, the Little Mermaid ride never gets really a wait time. Yes, it is an omnibus ride, so it does move people through. I get it, but you know, how many times are you in the park and you just jump on that because it's something you can go on?
Right.
You know?
Honestly, I think the next year and a half, I think they should really just do a massive refurb movement through the entire property, meaning maybe they don't even build a new ride. It's just all refurbs, right? And at least this way here, you get the low hanging fruit. Maybe, you know, some of these may only take a month, or, you know, like they may be kind of quick turnover, get all the quick turnovers done. And just doing that would put, I think, more energy into the parks. I think people would go somewhere and actually see some of these rides. I mean, even if they kept the Muppets, but if it's new video, it's new, you know, new scripts, new whatever, you know, maybe there's 4 different scripts or 5 different things. So you never really kind of know what you're going to get. Just doing something like that, people will start going back to it.
Yeah.
And that takes people, you can fit a lot of people.
We need people eaters. We need characters
Yeah.
walking around again. We need shows back.
Right. You need to spread people out, because now you know which rides they're going to.
Hmm.
And that's why the lines are so long. There's nowhere else to go. I gotta tell you, and this can even be like an offshoot thing one day, but I don't know, you guys, sometimes all I like to do, you know, the little boat, the little ferry thing that just kind of goes from property to property.
The friendships.
Yeah.
I'll just go ride that guy, because I find it's relaxing. But they don't have anything like that just to eat up people, so they're not standing in line at, you know, at Space Mountain and Thunder Mountain, you know, it's and Splash Mountain. You know their lines are going to be over an hour and a half because there's nowhere else for them to go.
It's true. You know, there's Magic Kingdom's got a lot of good rides, but there's so many missed opportunities. We just got a Mickey ride for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Like, where's
It's not
Donald's
even a
ride?
Magic
Like,
Kingdom.
Where's Donald's ride? Where's Goofy's ride? Like those are classic things. Where's
Goofy has the Barnstormer.
Cinderella Castle, and there's no ride for Cinderella in all of Fantasyland.
California has a nice Goofy coaster.
What
Yeah.
I like it.
what kind of ride would we get for Cinderella?
Even if it's just a
Like you get
Either-
Prince Charming's carousel.
Wait,
either you're on it in the
That
pumpkin
count?
trying to come back from the ball, or it's just a book report type attraction, whatever it is.
I'm over book report rides though.
Yeah.
I
But some of them are, I mean,
I have an idea.
We had live action shows of Alice Through the Looking Glass on Disney like back in the 90s. Like, why do we not have an Alice in Wonderland ride?
I don't know, but the one in Disneyland looks pretty cool.
Sorry, Lindsay, you were saying?
No, it's not a ride, but they should have the Cinderella Croc shop. All different Crocs, all different characters, right? And Cinderella, so you guys see if it's the perfect fit.
Oh, see, and I was thinking Peter Pan.
And why is Peter Pan? He says this in the video too. Why is our Peter Pan the only one that hasn't gotten the refurb with the projections
God.
and like? Because it like Disneyland's is so much better, and then Shanghai Disney's way better.
They get the coolest stuff. They do. I'm not mad. I'm jealous.
Well, that's what
But that could be done here. All you do is
Absolutely.
shut down for a bit and do it.
Heaven forbid we shut down
They're
Peter
going to do it
Pan.
eventually. They will do it eventually, but it's just they're taking too long.
how much does I'm sorry, how much did they make last quarter? What were their earnings?
Overall,
billion or something
more than I'll see in my lifetime.
ever. They won't even
Um,
get close to seeing that.
forever. That's not what I wanted.
I think she said it was 21 billion.
20, something like that.
Say in a moment.
It was obnoxious.
Yeah, it's like stupid. Disney subscriber sales were 21.5 billion. The Disney Plus subscribers were $152.1 million. Parks, experiences, and product section 7.4 billion.
So here's you have billions of dollars. And here's the other, you don't even have to so much really design the rides because they've already been designed. It's just copy and paste from these other parks. You have the money, you have the blueprints. This should not be this complicated.
No, what's the Disney Plus? What is it? $6.99 still for that?
They just raised the prices, or they are raising.
So let's call it $7.99 just for conversational purposes.
Yeah.
151 million more subscribers, or 151 million subscribers times $7.99 each month.
Yeah.
Holy Jesus.
Hold on. I'm gonna do it. I'm actually gonna put this. So 151
That's a lot.
million.
Yep. Times $7.99 per
Oh.
month.
Hold on.
$1 billion.
The hundreds place. Thousands place. Okay, I got it. Times
$7.99.
$7.99. No, you know. I have 100,000. 1,206,490,000
A month.
a month.
Just for
Times 12, and I understand that it may fluctuate, but let's just kind of go 12. Even if it's give or take a billion, it is 14, just say 14.4 billion. I mean, obviously there's more numbers there, but that's just a good roundabout kind of number. And going 14.4 gives you an era of 77,880,000. So yeah.
Right, so like, I don't know what the budget is for like an episode of The Mandalorian to make. I'm sure they're being friendly with their money to make those shows because they are high quality, but still, I mean, the math's still never. I mean, the profit margin's nuts.
You have money, you already have the blueprints. You're not recreating anything. You're copy and pasting. And you had a pandemic when no one was in the parks. That was the perfect time to do it.
They
Just
Well,
just
they couldn't because people couldn't be in there to work because of COVID.
their business.
You know what?
That's why nothing happened with Moana. That's why nothing happened with
They
Tron.
were out. The workers are outside.
Well, we didn't know. Well,
that
that revelation didn't come for some time.
that's
Oh, I know.
that I don't know that. Well, their business strategy for their streaming service was freaking genius.
You were.
Mhm.
They went on Netflix like 7 years ago. They dipped their toe in the water, see what was going on there, and then was like, all right, I'll scoop this up, that up, and this up, and I'll grab Hulu and Fox just before we do it, and bam, now no one can compete. You know, like Netflix, there'll be a day where that doesn't exist anymore. I bet. Because they can't keep the licenses because all the big companies are all making their own streaming services.
Yeah, and then they were smart enough to, I mean, I know some people like the Netflix where you can watch everything in one weekend, but they parcel it out so you can talk about it. Like you watch an episode and you can talk about that episode and not watch 4 episodes and have to remember what happened in the first half of the second episode.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're not like changing their strategy on that. Like a Stranger Things, for example, they could keep if they, like we'd still be watching right now.
Yeah.
People that like that show, if they were doing it once a week, and they'd be keeping subscribers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or Cobra Kai is coming out soon. Like it's another one that's big for them. You know,
Yeah.
they have big shows, but
Yeah.
just Disney did it from the get go, and it works. It does every week, every Friday night. I was sitting down waiting for the Mandalorian every week.
Mhm.
Same thing with Obi-Wan. It's gonna be the same thing with Andor.
Yep.
You know, and even the ones I don't like as much, like the Mighty Ducks or Big Shot, whatever. You know, you watch it every week.
Yeah.
Also, the thing I like that Disney does is that, you know, I just give them $70 and get the whole year, which is
Yeah.
also nice.
Yeah, I like doing that too.
Shut up and take my money.
Well, it just makes it easier.
Yep.
Like, boom, there's your whole year. But anyway, yeah, a lot of problems there, a lot of money to spend. We'll have to talk about this more. We're going to get some D23 announcements. Probably, we might not even, so you guys are going to Florida sometime next week. We'll get one more showing, I guess, before D23. And then after that, we can talk about D23 when I get back.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there'll be some interesting news there. Hopefully in the parks, hopefully in the domestic park, hopefully in world, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Animal Kingdom's time to get a big new ride. I don't know.
How about we just get a better land in Dinoland?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Well, that's what I was thinking with that space peanut. Maybe we're gonna get something for that.
And they originally had a whole thing set to like fantastic animals, mythological creatures. Why was that? Where was that going to go? Can we put that in still? Is it too
Well,
late?
it's gonna go where it was gonna go where Pandora is now, but
Okay, so now that Pandora's there, let's to Dino. I mean,
Well,
Dinosaur is still a good ride, though.
I'm sure they're going to add more.
I
to
do love
Pandora.
Dinosaur.
They're going to add more to Pandora when that next movie finally
Yeah.
comes out. I'm sure they're going to add some, whether it be a restaurant or another ride.
man, they better hope that movie's good.
Yeah, I mean, what they only got 10 coming after it too.
I mean, Pandora, like it's cool, and they did a good job with the Flight of Passage as a ride system and as an experience. But do we still really care that much about Avatar?
No.
You know?
I didn't care about it when it came out, and yet it became the highest grossing movie of all time.
Yeah, I didn't hate it or anything. It just
didn't-
it was what it was.
It was what it was. I didn't understand the whole thing. I was like, okay, well, can we re-release Jaws this summer to see if Jaws can get back up? Because it's my favorite movie. You know, can we get it back to the top?
I think we're
That's
going to
that.
need a bigger boat.
That is actually an amazing movie.
Yeah.
Are you sad that we don't
no
have
argument
Jaws
there.
25 like they say in Back to the Future?
What was that?
I said, are you sad that you don't have like Jaws 25 like you're supposed to have from Back to the Future? Or whatever it was. Johnny would know. Jaws what?
It was 19.
So sorry, 19. I was inaccurate.
You know what? 4 was so, even 3, it was so ungodly, unwatchable. Those movies were crimes against humanity. I mean, just for anyone that's never seen Jaws 4, Jaws attacks Chief Brody's family, like you do. And so the widow, in her grief, because she just lost one of her sons, goes with the other son to the Bahamas. Now, to do this, they took a plane. You've seen planes, you know how they work, you know how fast they go. However, the shark somehow followed them to the Bahamas, and not only followed them, he actually beat the plane to the Bahamas, like meaning he was there already. He was sipping Mai Tais, right? He was relaxing. Like,
It's amazing
hey,
what sharks
welcome.
can do.
I mean, it's amazing. That movie was, I mean, it was like, it had to be like Monsters Inc., where he walked through the door, was underwater, and then ended up, somewhere else. He beat the plane to the Bahamas.
That's the best part.
It just makes it me want to watch it again.
My favorite
It's
quote.
so bad, it's awesome.
My favorite quote from about that movie came from Michael Caine, and I may be messing this up a bit, but they asked him because he was in that movie. I mean, how do you get Michael Caine to?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't even know
Right.
how he ended up in that movie, but okay.
Here's how. They asked him, Have you ever watched Jaws 4? Have you ever watched the movie that you filmed? And he said, I've never seen it, but I have seen the house it built or the house it bought. That's how you get Michael Caine to do that movie. Give him a ton of money, and that's why he did that movie.
Yeah.
I love Michael Caine though.
Yeah, I do too. But I just think, how do you get him in Jaws 4? I mean, there's
Oh,
Jaws 3D that had didn't that have that had Dennis Quaid in it? Jaws 3D.
yeah, just the whole.
It was a stretch of even making two of them.
It was
It's not a
was a-
movie. Yeah.
but at least you had, Roy Scheider.
Yeah.
At least you had him, Chief Brody. But as soon as you couldn't get Richard Dreyfuss, and obviously, even if Robert Shaw had lived, I mean, he wasn't going to be able to do it because he passed away in real life. But I mean, sorry, he passed away in real life. But even had he not done that, his character was.
Yeah. Died in the movie.
So you weren't going to get the band back together again. But it just unwatchable. I mean,
Sorry.
Wow.
don't do it to yourself. The shark beat the plane to the Bahamas.
Can teleport.
I mean, you would think,
It
and
just swims fast. I don't know why you're having a hard time with this.
And by the way, if you want
Move, fish. Get out the way.
to, if you want
Get
to
out.
avoid it, if you want to avoid a shark, you could go live in an apartment. You could not go in the water where there are sharks. When I went to get my
Yeah, that's the best part.
when
Stay away from the shoreline, you idiots.
when I got my certification to scuba dive, the guy doing the class said, I know some of you are worried about shark sightings and things like that. He goes, if you ever want to know if there's a shark in the water, here's what you do. You get a spoon. You go down to the water. You put a little bit of water on the spoon, and you taste it. If it tastes salty, there are sharks in the water. And you know what? I'm such an idiot. I was waiting for this cool tip that he's going to tell us. And then finally, yeah, I guess.
Nah, you got me. And that lack of knowledge right there, Lancy, is why you can't understand why Jaws got to the Bahamas before the airplane. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a real question.
Be nice.
Can you tell me how long their layover was?
Well,
Because maybe
yeah.
he gained some time there.
He had the current behind him.
Maybe
Yeah.
he saw them book the flight and got a couple day head start.
He took the EAC over. Have you not seen Finding Nemo?
dude.
Maybe he got in a tornado.
Sharknado.
Sharknado. See, you haven't thought about any of this.
I did think about Sharknado, but I didn't know if that was like a Jaws, and Twister mashup.
I mean,
I
I guess technically it is, but
Is it a musical? One of them a musical, Sharknado 2?
probably
My mom loves the Sharknadoes, and that's weird.
because they're so stupid.
Maybe the shark became a pilot and he flew down. Hey,
I
sharks.
just think, I'm
Multiple
not
thumbs.
criticizing. I just think you haven't thought it through. That's all I'm saying. Go back,
It's
think about it a
possible.
little bit. Maybe it becomes your favorite movie. If
Have you
really start to
researched
realize?
the top speed of a great white?
I'll
Here's
do
what we're
that.
gonna do.
I'll do that right
Lancy's gonna go to Martha's Vineyard and he's gonna find a shark that and start a rivalry. Then we're gonna put him on an airplane and see who gets to the Bahamas first in real life.
You know what? I'm sure.
All right. Well, you know,
I'm sure science people. Okay.
I
the
digress,
average
as Sarah would say.
Top speed.
I digress.
Top speed of a great white shark.
Oh my God, you're looking it up.
He's looking it up.
Yeah.
All right, let's figure this out.
Okay, math. Here we go.
It can do short bursts of 35 miles an hour, but typically top swimming, the cruising speed is going to be 25.
Okay. So
Is this
25 miles an
nautical
hour.
miles per hour or land miles per hour?
What?
Is it nautical miles per hour or land miles
It
per
just says miles per hour.
So how are we? All right. So we're going from Martha's Vineyard, right? Well, from Amityville from Amity to
So, okay, so flights.
not Amityville, Amity.
hour? Great deal on JetBlue.
Um,
The best part of the whole thing, though, is forget about what we're doing right now, even though it's fun. He's right. Just stay away from the goddamn shoreline. It's like in Family Guy when when Aquaman, they did the thing with Aquaman. He's like, the girl is like, "Help me, Aquaman! She's trying to rape me or whatever." And he's like, "I would do it if you just come a little closer. Come to the water. I'm gonna get you. You're lucky you're not over here." Same idea. It's like just stay clear. But where do they go? Another water place that has a lot of water. They don't go to Ohio,
I say go to Idaho,
Colorado. They're gonna go to a shoreline.
Kansas.
Where else? What are you doing?
all right. So a flight
That's funny.
from Martha's Vineyard to
Martha,
what?
nothing.
It looks to be about 8 hours.
All
Oh,
right.
That's the
So the
flight.
shark can do about 200 miles in 8 hours if it can sustain 25 miles an hour without stopping.
Okay, hold on. How many miles?
Your point's proven, Steven. The shark can't beat the plane. You're right. you got us.
dang it.
It's not even gonna be close.
I don't think so. I mean, some of the overnight flights, to be fair, is like 16. So, okay. So between Martha's Vineyard and the Bahamas, it is a distance of 1,193 miles.
That's a ski.
Divide that by 25.
So 1193 divided by 25. It comes out to 47.42.
47 hours.
All right, so this isn't that bad now when you think about it. Things could happen.
Well,
here.
so
That's almost 2 whole days.
So
You
if
have a
they have
layover.
if they have a layover, and the layover flights between 16 and 17 hours. So if the plane, the part's not working, I guess, no, it's impossible. The shark ain't beating.
Wait a minute, but
damn plane.
did he get a head start? Did he leave days before the flight left?
I mean, the wake and funeral were going to take about 3 to 4 days. So
See?
So what you're
Who writes
saying,
this stuff? Someone
Does
wrote
that have
this.
a
A couple guys sat together and were like, "This is a good idea."
yeah, and someone else funded it and agreed. Yes, this is a
You-
good idea.
And actually, I think they came up with the idea, and then they told their really smart math nerd friend who said no, and then he crunched the numbers and had to begrudgingly say, "Yeah, I guess it's possible." But that's at top speed. Like that's not even stopping to eat, and I think sharks do need to eat. So
Probably.
I'm just saying,
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's not even, do we know it's the same shark?
it's the same shark.
Okay.
It's called Jaws, not Jaws and Friends.
But here's the question. You've seen the movie. You've seen the shark. You've seen them. You've seen that the shark was there first. So how did it happen? Something happened.
Landy's going to quit his job and become a marine biologist.
Yeah.
See, she was angry that day, my friends.
Anyway,
We said
All
the
right.
goal.
But I was
this
a marine
podcast has
biologist.
gone more off the rails than anyone in the history of Quick This.
Couldn't see
It's
any further. The
podcast.
waves were crashing upon. I knew something was there.
Oh my
So I reached out. Pull this trash.
We're gonna wrap up.
Softball.
We're gonna wrap up. Now, before we wrap up, are you guys gonna be seeing other podcasts when you're down on this next trip?
Yeah.
That's a
We-
yes.
we
The
might be.
hesitation is a yes.
Well, we gotta find him.
There's
Maybe
no loyalty.
Oh, is he down there?
the man works down there. Yes, Dave. Works
Oh, that
down
one, yeah.
boy.
That would be it.
You're not getting catfished by a podcast, are you?
No. So one of the gentlemen on this podcast that we have become friendly with actually is he's a plaid shirt. And we encountered him randomly, like maybe 2 years ago, or was it last year? Last year or 2 years ago, we
Last summer.
were walking through Galaxy's Edge, and Johnny, and I told him this very same story. I'm like, he very quietly, because you know how loud Johnny gets, went, Dave, probably in that very same
No.
volume level. And he like turned around and heard him somehow and said a quick hello while he was working. But yeah. So he's not catfishing, he's really there.
Is this the potential guest that we may be getting? What there was some kind of talk of a
No.
guest.
Oh, I don't know who that
No,
is.
No,
We're not going to be making any announcements on that yet. All right.
not yet.
Not yet.
I do
Okay.
have a guest,
Oh, you have a guest as well.
and he's a published author.
Oh my.
It's
Okay.
not Dean Koontz or Stephen King or anything.
Thank God.
How about Bernard Cornwell?
No.
How about
I
Gordon?
wonder
Willis?
if we could get the writers of Jaws 4 on the show.
Reach out. All their people. Do they even have people anymore at this point?
I have no idea who wrote it. I had to look it up. Watch it be someone like it's like Quentin Tarantino before he made a name for himself or something stupid.
Yeah, like it's
That'd
gonna
be
be
awesome.
It's gonna be like, oh, we want to. It's this person. Let to take back and forget everything that we've said. Our apologies.
Oh, it's no, it's M. Night Shyamalan's first script. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
No,
Joel,
Sarah. Sarah's saying off to the side about a
I don't know.
brawl that happened on a tram. Enlighten us before we leave, Sarah, about the brawl on the tram, please.
Literally, people cannot handle being cut in line, and there was a brawl on the tram.
Which tram? Which park?
I want to say Animal, but I'm not 100% positive. I took a screenshot and I was like, this is preposterous. Literally, because someone cut in line and made it like a snarky comment. And so the person who got on the tram, and the person who made the comment didn't. And there was,
Oh, I saw that video. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also a brawl on, locally on the Block Island Ferry too. So, all that stuff happened.
Yeah, there
locally.
was.
So-
best part of the
People are
sail
getting
away on
ridiculous.
the Black Island Ferry. And then it's people punching each other.
they've
Yeah,
had-
basically.
It's happening.
You got to give Block Island like a lot of credit. They've used the same jingle since like
Mhm.
I was 4.
Yeah, and it's stuck in my
Yeah.
head.
By the way, Jaws 4, The Revenge, was directed by Joseph Sargent.
Who's never worked again.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just
Uh,
joking about that part.
written by Michael D. Guzman.
Oh, and
Oh, I'm sorry. It was not Animal Kingdom. It was on the tram leaving the TTC at Magic Kingdom.
Oh.
Maybe they were also mad about the disarray in Fantasy.
I mean, I want to give people the benefit of the doubt and say that I can see how tensions could be. And we've talked about this before. How tensions can rise
But get your crap together,
in a
people.
hot day at Disney. And I know, and at the end, that is my whole point. But just for somewhat of a comical take on it, whatever you want to call it. So I can understand getting easily fired up, but I mean, you really got to assess the situation and say, do I want to be the guy who gets into a brawl? Even if I'm the kind of guy that wants a brawl, do I want to get into it at Disney, or do I want to get into it in like a biker bar? Like I want to get into a place where brawls are welcome.
At a biker bar, I would be absolutely destroyed.
Not Disney. Like, who
But I
fights
might
Disney?
win at Disney. I might be faster, probably
Like,
not,
who are
but I
you gonna
might
get
be.
a brawl
faster.
with. Grandma. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I can run away from her ECV thing. No, too much.
With that said, we are off to the Bahamas to avoid
So
being attacked by a shark.
just because I don't want to accidentally disrespect anyone's work, the director also directed the 1977 movie MacArthur, which is kind of, big deal. Also, after Jaws, he went on to be a direct. I'm not going to do it all of them, but just so you know, Miss Evers Boys, which was a very good movie. Also, Bojangles, Something the Lord Made, and Warm Springs, which were the last one was about FDR. So he actually was a decent director. I don't want to get hate mail.
Well, you got handed a bad script,
Yeah,
but probably built a few houses with it, like Michael Caine did. So,
it made $51.9 million.
Breaking
what was
news.
the budget?
The
Sorry.
budget was 23 million.
So it made some money.
They made about 18, I think, by now.
Yep.
Lego is releasing a Hocus Pocus Lego set. And that's what it looks like.
Breaking news. You heard it here first, people.
Yeah. Unless you were
Breaking
online
news.
and
Johnny has just bought it.
unless you were online an hour ago when they released it.
No, I thought it didn't come out till next year.
Wait.
I think it doesn't come out till next year. I already looked into it. I did already pre-order the Office Lego set though.
There it is.
That comes out October 1st.
All right.
2,992 pieces, in case you're curious.
Not bad. All right. We out.
Okay.
We got to get out of here. It's late.
It's late.
Check in every other week, I think is the schedule we're going to be trying to keep from now on for a while. We'll see.
That would be the 31st. I'll try and throw reminders out on Facebook too. Hey,
So
happy birthday,
31st
Jane.
So the 31st, let's shoot for that. And then
Ooh, Spider-Man.
it'll
I
be what? I'm sorry. Steven.
I will try. I will be with the Coast Guard for a couple of weeks. But
Thanks for guarding our coasts from Jaws.
Well, here's the deal.
But I should. There's actually a chance that I will be able to, as long as I can get decent internet.
Yeah.
So if I can, and I mean, usually this late at night, I wouldn't be on the water anyways. So pencil it in.
But yeah.
Yeah. All right. And then so 31st, then like the next one will be a little off because I won't be back to like, well, you guys can do a show without me if you want to, I guess. But I won't be back till after the 2-week span there.
Yeah.
Because I won't be back to like the 18th. I wouldn't be able to make.
You're
Which
pulling
was-
her from the start of the school year?
Yep.
It just dawned on me that you're pulling her from school.
Yeah. I'm doing that on purpose to try to get lower crowds. See what happens. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
I'm just saying the teacher in me is judging you a little bit.
Yeah.
You had all summer, Timothy.
I think, well, yeah, but all summers when it's busy, I don't want to be there.
Just saying.
Yep.
That's the thing.
Are you asking for all the work?
I mean, I don't know about you, but I remember what I did the first 2 weeks of school in 4th grade.
Taxes. That's what you learn. She's not going to know now.
Good. Maybe she'll never have to pay.
how that works.
I know, judgy. Whatever. I'm doing it. I'm that guy. And I'm sorry. But I want to see if it works out or not. I hope it does.
I would
Right
really
now,
judge you if you asked her teachers for all the work she's missing. Then I'd really judge you.
No, I let the teachers make that decision on their own. If they want to give it, if that's what they want to do, whatever they want, however they want to handle it.
She's a good bean. She'll be fine.
It's gonna be fine.
And if not,
I won't do it again after this year, but I want.
unless it works well for you.
Well, that's true. Unless it's like amazing, then it'd be worth it. It's just that the crowds have been so out of, I know the crowds have been not great and or great depending on what way you want to look at it.
Yeah.
And I really want to not deal with that if I can avoid it.
Yeah, Florida's already back in school. Certain sections, some friends.
And
of
they
ours
say
are
this is
going back.
the time that this next few weeks. So we'll see.
Yeah. I think I saw a bunch this week. I have a couple of friends from high school that live in Florida. Their kids went back this week. Some friends we made from the cruise that live in Florida. Their kids are back. The Ramies. Their kids started
They're
this
not
week.
from Florida.
No, I lied to you. Sorry, they're not from Florida.
Florida's? Like
Florida.
Florida, New York?
Florida.
Florida, I think.
How's the weather up there, down there?
It's not a tropical
Cold.
climate.
Oh, all right. We're
Well, all
getting
right,
there.
people.
We're
You
getting
know
out.
your geography.
We will see you guys 2 weeks. 2 weeks.